You don't lose in trading because the market is against you. You lose because you cannot stop. You win, and you trade again. You lose, and you trade again. You feel something, and you must act. And in that moment, you are no longer trading the market. You are trading your emotions. Overtrading is silent. It doesn't feel dangerous. In fact, it feels productive. It feels like effort. It feels like you're trying. But the truth is, overtrading is one of the fastest ways to destroy your account and your confidence. And if you don't understand why you do it, you will keep doing it. Most traders believe their problem is strategy. They think, if I just find the right setup, if I just learn one more indicator, if I just improve my entries, then everything will work. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is this: you don't trust uncertainty, so you try to control it by taking more trades. Overtrading is not about the market. It is about your inability to sit still when nothing is happening. It is about discomfort and your need to escape it. You see, the market does not reward activity. It rewards discipline. But your mind is wired to do something, and that is where the conflict begins. Deep psychological breakdown. Let me explain something most traders never realize. Every time you place a trade, you are making a decision under uncertainty. And uncertainty creates tension. That tension is uncomfortable. Your mind does not like it. So what does it do? It looks for relief. And one of the fastest ways to feel relief is to take action, even if that action is wrong. This is why overtrading feels good in the moment, because it gives you the illusion of control. You feel like you're doing something. You feel like you're chasing opportunity. You feel like you're not missing out, but in reality, you are reacting, not thinking. And when you react, you are no longer following a process. You are following emotion. Now think about this carefully. If every trade has an uncertain outcome, then taking more trades does not give you more certainty. It only gives you more exposure to randomness, more risk, more emotional swings, more chances to make mistakes. Overtrading is not a strategy. It is a psychological response to discomfort. The first lesson you must understand is this: more trades do not mean more profits. In fact, for most traders, more trades mean more losses, because each trade carries emotional weight. And the more you trade, the heavier that weight becomes. Eventually, you are no longer thinking clearly. You are chasing, you are forcing, you are trying to make something happen that the market is not offering. The second lesson is this: you must think in probabilities, not in individual trades. A single trade means nothing. It is just one outcome in a long series of outcomes. But when you overtrade, you start treating each trade as important. You start reacting to each win and each loss, and that destroys your consistency. Because consistency does not come from individual trades. It comes from executing your edge over and over again without interference. The third lesson: you must accept that doing nothing is part of trading. This is one of the hardest truths to accept, because doing nothing feels like failure. It feels like you're missing out. But in reality, doing nothing is often the most profitable decision you can make. The market does not move on your schedule. It does not care about your need to trade. It only presents opportunities when conditions are right. Your job is to wait. The fourth lesson: emotional discipline is not about controlling your feelings. It is about controlling your actions. You will feel the urge to trade. That will not go away. But you must learn not to act on every urge, because an urge is not a signal. It is just a feeling. The fifth lesson: consistency comes from rules, not from emotions. If you do not have clear rules, you will overtrade. Because in the absence of structure, emotion takes over, always. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. A trader wakes up in the morning. He opens his charts. Nothing is happening. The market is slow, but he feels restless. He tells himself, I need to catch something today. So he takes a trade. It's not a great setup, but it's something. The trade loses. Now he feels frustration. So he takes another trade. This one wins. Now he feels relief, but also excitement. So he trades again and again. By the end of the day, he has taken 10 trades, half wins, half losses. But his account is down, not because the market was bad, but because his behavior was inconsistent. Another trader has a winning streak, 3 trades in a row. Now he feels invincible. He believes he understands the market, so he increases his frequency. He starts seeing setups everywhere. He trades more aggressively, and slowly, the losses begin. But he doesn't stop, because now he is trying to protect his ego, and by the time he realizes what happened, the profits are gone. Overtrading doesn't always come from losing. Sometimes it comes from winning. Now here is the shift you must make. You must stop thinking like a participant and start thinking like a professional. A professional trader does not trade because they feel like it. They trade because the conditions are right. Nothing more, nothing less. They understand that the market offers endless opportunities, so there is no need to chase, no need to force, no need to prove anything. They are not trying to win every day. They are trying to remain consistent over time. And consistency requires patience. It requires restraint. It requires trust. In the process, you must begin to see trading differently, not as a game of action, but as a game of discipline, where the real skill is not in pulling the trigger, but in knowing when not to. So how do you actually stop overtrading? You start by defining your edge very clearly. What does a valid setup look like? What conditions must be present? If those conditions are not there, you do nothing. No exceptions. Next, you limit your trades, not because the market demands it, but because your psychology needs it. Set a maximum number of trades per day, and once you reach that limit, you stop, even if you feel like continuing, especially if you feel like continuing. You also create a waiting rule. After every trade, you must wait. Let the market reset. Let your mind reset. Because overtrading often happens in rapid succession. One trade leads to another and another until you lose control. Break that chain. You track your behavior, not just your results. Did you follow your rules? Did you take unnecessary trades? Did you act on emotion? Because awareness is the first step to change. And finally, you accept that missing trades is part of the game. You will miss opportunities, that is unavoidable, but chasing them will cost you more every time. Overtrading is not about the market. It is about you, your fears, your desires, your need for control. And until you understand that, you will keep repeating the same cycle. Win, trade again, lose, trade again, feel, trade again. But the moment you step back, the moment you slow down, the moment you realize that you don't have to act, everything changes. Because trading is not about doing more. It is about doing less with precision, with intention, with discipline. You don't need more trades. You need better decisions, and better decisions come from a calm mind, a patient mind, a disciplined mind. So the next time you feel the urge to trade, pause, breathe, ask yourself, is this my edge or my emotion? And if the answer is emotion, let it pass, because the market will always be there. but your capital and your mindset will not survive constant abuse. Learn to wait, learn to trust, learn to do nothing, and in that stillness, you will find your edge. This content is inspired by the teachings of Mark Douglas.